Hello, everybody. It is 2:07 p.m. Central Time on Friday, December 23rd, 2016, and welcome into the Earthquake 3D live stream. Guys, I've got some breaking news. It's not even on the USGS site yet. We have a report of a 5.0 earthquake striking in New Mexico. And I'm going to go pull the coordinates for this, but first things first, let's get over and show you guys what we're looking at here. So I've got a display capture open right now, and the way we're going to find this earthquake information, since it's not being made available to the public yet on the USGS, I'm going to take you over to the EMSC website, and we're going to look at the seismologist page, which is important. You should always check the seismologist information because for a lot of time we're not going to... Whoa. They just removed it, guys. They just removed it. They just removed the dang earthquake. It was top center. I literally have it open on my laptop downstairs. They just removed the 5.0 earthquake completely from the feed. Well, now I can't even pull the coordinates to look it up. Does anybody in chat still have the available information? Guys, this is censorship. This is what we would call censorship in science. This is when, again, when there's an earthquake that strikes that's picked up by multiple locations, multiple station feeds showing the earthquake information, and now all of a sudden we are missing the 5.0 earthquake. Now, guys, you got to understand what's going on down in Oklahoma. This is very, very interesting because in Oklahoma there is a huge fracking operation, and I mean it's one of the biggest ones in the country. And I don't know what to say about this other than to say that the earthquake's not being reported now, and they removed it from the feed means they don't want us to look it up. I need the coordinates. If somebody has the coordinates, I absolutely, positively need them as soon as possible so we can go look them up. If anybody in chat still has the screen open, please copy the coordinates, paste them into chat, and I will look them up. If I have to, I'll go downstairs on my laptop, open it up, write down the coordinates, and come back, but I think nobody will believe that. So I almost need somebody in chat here who still has the page open to give it to me. This is highly unacceptable in science. We would normally expect to go look this up, be able to at least study it as a seismologist. I understand you might not report it to the public, but you take it and remove it off the seismologist list? I'm telling you guys, there's big money involved here, and there is some big cash, and I mean billions and maybe even more, that is at stake here. Okay? So, does anybody have the coordinates? Does anybody have the coordinates? Please tell me you've got the coordinates. If you do, post them in chat. If not, I'm going to have to go do some legwork and try and write them down. Ah, there we go. All right. Okay, here, somebody's got them. Mr. Frizzank, our moderator, okay? He's trustworthy, guys. Mr. Frizzank sent him a Christmas gift. Okay, so 10489 North. Well, let's see. 36.79 North, 104.89 West. You guys can see this all, right? Okay, so I'm here on my chat box. This is Mr. Frizzank 555. See, this is real time. This is exciting to me. This stuff right here is when we catch them doing something, when we catch them trying to hide an earthquake, that's when we really go push it. So, here we go. Let's go put the coordinates in, see where it resides. It may not be in a fracking operation. Who knows? I haven't looked it up yet. I just saw the earthquake pop on. Oh, look where it's taking us in. Right on top of our biggest fracking operation. There is no doubt about this, guys. Every single one of these little pads here, every single pad is a different oil well. See that? See the shadow on this? I can prove this to you. I mean, that's just one random zoom in. Every single one of them is a different oil operation. So it's not just fracking and natural gas. It's the oil patches that are struck too. Here's a side view on the shadow on one of the wells. There you go. I mean, there you go. 5.0. And you know what's so funny? Is I just called out Professor Rick Astor in Colorado just no more than an hour and a half ago, guys. I called out Rick Astor from the University of Colorado and their whole little thing they got going on down here. And what they've done is they've fractured the whole front range, at least a couple hundred miles across, at least from the foothills, starting right here. Okay, you see this? We have a few operations up here along the foothills, starting here and going. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to back this out so we're at a bird's eye view from satellite. We go all the way across over to the east. See how many there are? I got tired of marking them. There were so many. So, the fracking is different than the oil. You can see the tanks at the stations. And I would dare say at this point, it's troubling to see censorship in science. Hey! Bravo, guys! Bravo! Bravo! This is what happens when exposure, when the bright light of science is shown on the cockroaches of obfuscation. Here is the 4.5 showing up on the feed. The Europeans! The Europeans have come through and reported the 4.5. The USGS has not. So let's prove that to you. Here we are on the European page. Now let's go over to the USGS website where they're getting paid by the oil companies. Do they have it on there? Hey, what do you know? Now it's on there too. Same time that it populates with the Europeans, same time that it populates here. So here's the question you got to ask. They deleted it from the seismologist page. They were intending to hide it because of the bright light of the shining light of investigation that's just done on this site here right now. I'm going to take you back over to the EMSE page, see if they've got it back on there. Let's hit refresh. Oh, well, what do you know? It's back on the feed. Here it is. Here it is, guys. Now it's back on the feed. I just hit refresh. There it is. It's back. Isn't that so interesting? This is why what I do on YouTube matters, man. And it doesn't matter. I don't care if I get 1 cent for it. Just the fact alone that I know that if it wasn't for the fact of us reporting it, it would be hidden. But now, take a look at it, guys. A 4.5 struck on the West Coast, 4.5 struck in the Midwest. Fracking operations. Now, you might say, oh, Dutch, that's a 4.3 on the West Coast. Well, they downgraded that. That was actually a mid-range 4 to upper 4. It went up to 4.7 to 4.9. They went with 4.3. But I think it's pretty obvious now. 4.7 did strike, followed by a 4.5 in the Midwest, 2 points less, 0.2 less. So, there it is. There it is. You guys get to see it right here, real time, before your eyes. And it only took a few hours for the pressure to transfer over to the Midwest. Now, it hit the fracking operations in Colorado. Professor Rick Astor at the border of New Mexico and Colorado. See, the fracking operation spans across the borders. In case you guys didn't see that, let me just show you really quick. So here's our state line, Colorado, New Mexico, and the oil companies didn't care about that. They apparently just keep on going, same equidistantly spaced, whether it's in New Mexico or in Colorado. So New Mexico goes all the way down, and again, we're talking about hundreds of miles. Look, I mean, it keeps going down to the south. And you might say, oh, Dutch, well, that's just at the Colorado-New Mexico border there. That's not that big of a deal, right? Wrong, guys. Look over to the west. Take a look here. Now, I'm going to zoom in here, and you're going to see a bunch of little speck marks. Do you see all these little squares? Okay, every single one of these squares is a different spot in New Mexico at the Four Corners region, at Colorado, New Mexico, Four Corners. So, and this is more fracking, wastewater injection. You can see the storage tanks and the pipes, but they do have pumps at the top as well. So this is even bigger than the Oklahoma operation, believe it or not. It's so big that you can't even really capture it. When you zoom in, you almost have to look real close because the sandy patches that they've dug out here almost look like parts of the mountains themselves. See, like here's one down here at the bottom of the hill, and here's one here at the top of the hill. Just an example, 2 of 10,000 that are here. And when I say 10,000, I'm not joking. Each spot here has thousands and thousands of wells going off in all directions. These aren't houses. People said to me, oh, those must be campsites. I'm like, no, those aren't campsites, guys. Those are frack wells. As a matter of fact, this is all Bureau of Land Management land that the government sold off to have this done. Isn't that just insane that they've done this? So, 4.5 hit after a 4.5, 4.7 hit on the West Coast. West Coast hit first, Midwest hit second. Only took a few hours' time for it to occur. Now, I don't know if you guys are paying attention to this, but for the Midwest, that's a noteworthy size earthquake. That is, a 4.5 in Colorado, that is noteworthy size.